And welcome to the No Assembly Required podcast, a podcast where we talk about nothing. Tune in every Thursday evening at 7 p.m.-ish Eastern Standard Time. Filmed in front of a live YouTube audience. And now your trio of hosts, starting with Audrey, Just Work Harder, Ember. And, of course, your second host, Romina from the block. And your third host, the Dark Lord of the Internet himself, Roberto Blake. Welcome to the No Assembly Required podcast. Please like and subscribe.
Narpity narp.
What is up with the Snapchat glasses that are by Facebook?
Snapchat glasses brought to you by Facebook. I know that you got the topic late, but you didn't do any prep work?
I saw a little bit on Twitter, so I know the basics.
Audrey, not doing her homework?
I know that you have to say, like, hey, Facebook or something to make them work, which is an automatic no on my end.
Well, it's not that you have to say that. There are physical capabilities to this, but it does have voice commands, which is actually kind of cool. That is a step up from the Snapchat
but you have to say, hey, Facebook.
Well, I mean, is that any really different than saying, hey Siri or hey Google,
yes.
Okay Google, or
there is a big difference, a gigantic difference. You will not catch me saying, hey, Facebook.
Okay, why? Talk to us.
It's a meme. I've already seen memes about it. Because it's Facebook. I don't know. No one really it's
when did it become cool to just dunk on Facebook? What they do? Like, let me be very serious, and then we'll really get into the topic, because today for the audience, just to catch the audience up, audience, Facebook announced and showcased today smart glasses. You guys might be familiar with Google Smart Glass. Was an iteration of this several years ago that didn't pan out, and then Snapchat with its spectacles. So glasses that integrate a lot of interesting technology. I'm actually in favor of this, by the way, if you didn't know. Even though I made this thumbnail, it says dumb glass because smart glass, so I went dumb glass. I went with that for clicks. But I'm actually in favor of this, but I want to circle back onto something before I get into why I'm in favor of this technology. Let me ask you guys what your problem is and what your beef is with Facebook.
They old.
I'm old. What's wrong, Ember? You ageist over there?
It's
Gen Z,
meme,
TikTok.
No, it's just a meme. Like, walking around, like, asking your glasses, like, hey, Facebook. It's just.
I see how it is and everything like that. Just remember that, Ember, that one day you will wake up and you will be old too.
I know. I'm just saying, hey, Facebook, I can't do it. I'm sorry.
Now, I'm not going to keep aging because, I got 7 Horcruxes on order, when they're done. Like,
I don't think I could take it seriously. That's the whole point. People are already memeing it. It's just.
Oh, that's funny. They didn't take smartphones seriously either. They didn't take the iPad seriously.
No, it's not seriously now.
Blockchain.
It's like a meme,
Yeah, and they were dunking on crypto and Bitcoin too. I remember. I was there. They were dunking on crypto. Oh, Facebook is dead. Oh, wait. All of a sudden, 5 years later, it's a threat to our democracy. Oh, social media. Oh, that's nothing. That means nothing. Oh, my God. It's $1 trillion industry. What the hell? We got to regulate it.
Yeah, but this time it's the kids who are just dunking on Facebook because all their moms are on Facebook.
Yeah, and what do they know?
I mean, it's not really I think kids would still want to use it. It's more just a meme, It's like, I'm not walking around saying, hey, Facebook. It's nothing against Facebook. It's just Facebook has been memed and so that's just how it is.
It's because you don't want to do it because the oldies are on it.
It's not even, I think it's not even, I would still use them because it's funny. It's just a meme. If people aren't taking it super seriously.
Well, meme aside, I feel like my whole grudge with it is just, in general, I don't need it. I'm just I just don't see why.
You don't need a lot of things.
No.
Dude, can you imagine a Gen Zer about to make a TikTok and you're like, hey, Facebook?
No, I just mean that it's not. It doesn't have any features that are. It's like I just don't understand
Well, you don't
why.
know that yet.
Well, didn't they already explain that it was just like recording video and like posting and that sort of stuff?
That's
Wasn't
Gen
that the
1.
problem with the
That's
other one?
Gen 1.
All right,
First
but
of all,
that's Gen 1 is what we're talking about here. It's what's coming out.
But the thing is,
We're not talking about the potential.
It's technology. We're always talking about the potential.
No, I'm not talking about the potential. I'm talking about the product that's going to be in people's hands.
Well, here's the thing.
Soon.
All right, so it's $299. Ray-Ban sunglasses, if you guys didn't know, Ray-Ban sunglasses are already expensive. So the price point of someone who buys, I bought mine 2 years ago and they're still in great shape. But the kind of person who buys Ray-Bans is not shying away at a $299 price point where it's Ray-Bans plus technology, because it's Ray-Bans plus technology. And so here's the other thing, though. Content creators, think about how many content creators went out there and bought drones. You can't really say a drone is a necessary thing. You know how many vloggers copy Tracy Neistat?
I'm not saying in general, like, it's not an unnecessary. I don't need a plant like on my desk, you know, but I have it for various reasons. But I'm not saying that in general. I'm just saying there aren't any features on it. Like, for example, if it was more of like an AR, right? Like if it had,
we don't know that it's not going to be. That's where I'm going. But we don't know that's not.
What do we actually know about it?
Okay, so what we know about it right now in terms of the features that they showed off, because by the way, I'm not convinced that it isn't set up to where a firmware update doesn't give it the AR features. I just don't think they wanted to scare people with the radical part of that when they're already concerned about privacy and I don't want you seeing everything I see. You already use your damn phone. It's like,
but they're already concerned about these things
for stupid, frivolous reasons. Frivolous reasons. Like, who thinks they're so important that it matters that a social media company that is a multi-billion-dollar company on the verge of possibly being a trillion-dollar company.
Being important. It's about having the privacy. It's just like it's
from a trillion-dollar company that you don't have privacy from to begin with.
Right, but there's a difference between logging onto the website and looking at some photos or seeing what people have posted to the feed, as opposed to wearing it.
Anyone who has a smartphone should assume that they're already wiretapped. Everyone who has a smartphone should already assume that they're wiretapped. Anyone who has a smart speaker should assume that they're wiretapped. Anybody who has smart features in their car should assume they're wiretapped. Nobody should have the delusional belief that they have
Facebook applications on my phone. Then why am I going to?
Yes, you do, because you have third party. Because Facebook will use the third party stuff that you already have. And again, if you're worried about Facebook, then you should also worry about Google. And if you're worried about them, you should also worry about Apple. You should worry about all these trillion-dollar tech companies if you're worried about privacy. But you won't, because the convenience is too damn good. And the thing is, none of us are that important to actually warrant needing privacy. We need privacy from each other. We don't really need privacy from trillion-dollar corporations. We kind of need it from the government, and we don't have that either.
But there's levels to this thing. Because if we're talking about the sunglasses, we're talking about a camera. Right.
You don't think that they're already using a microphone, which is more dangerous to us than a camera, in every device we already have?
Of course, but it's right. Exactly. I think my thing is like, I don't
everyone's private photos and videos were compromised by iCloud back during the debacle. Remember the fappening? Remember when everybody's like, guess what? And no one stopped using iPhone and no one stopped using iCloud.
Right, but they took those photos.
Again, it's still access to what's on your device, which means it already is up for grabs and compromised, and you don't have privacy or security if that happens. Now they're trying to implement on the Apple side, scanning your photos and videos, so you're still not going to have privacy. They're willing to give that to the government under the auspices of protecting vulnerable people, which they always use that excuse. And then but it means if they can do it for that, they can do it for everything. It's one keystroke away from changing the code and making it work differently. It's like, no, our privacy died 20 years ago when everybody gave MySpace the same information that a government dossier used to require people working in a skiff room 72 hours when the Jason Bourne movies were a thing. Used to have 20 people working 72 hours to compile the information that sits in somebody's damn Facebook or MySpace bio 20 years ago. We forfeited our damn privacy a long time ago at the blink of an eye for convenience when we wanted to get laid on the internet.
Yeah, but wait, I feel like we should. This is an interesting topic, and I don't know what I almost said Google Glass. Facebook knockoff glass does. But like, what if it's literally, because I feel like there's movies. There's this book called The Circle that I read a while ago. And in that book, I don't know if you guys know it, but like their whole society is built on the fact that you can like live stream like everything that you see. And then people become popular, and that's how they like move up in society. And it's against the law to like not show everything. And
that's where I would draw the line, but yeah,
so it's kind of like
it's always when the government gets involved.
Yep. See,
I think it was actually a company. It was The Circle.
Well, yeah, the company started,
but the government's the one who made stuff illegal.
The law.
No, they would like fire you or something, and then you would
that's different.
Oh, you mean it was a rule?
Or whatever.
Okay, so yeah, it's a live casting platform. So it's like, okay, because like it used to be that Justin TV, Justin Khan, who made Twitch, Justin TV became Twitch. He was the first 24/7 live caster, and then iJustine was the second. And so people don't realize this is from like the old days of the internet, the like real old days of the internet. This is like 16 years ago. Like this is like before all this other stuff became popular, right? And so back when Yahoo was like the dominant search engine, like, so like back in the day, like, so back then, this was like a thing that some people did was they live casted 24/7. You even see some Twitch streamers do 24/7 or indefinite streams, even where they sleep, and they do these endless streams, the subathons, right? So like this is a thing. So the thing is, this book isn't that science fiction, Audrey, because you have Twitch live streamers right now who will literally just not turn off the camera, and they will literally sleep, eat, do everything, and it's a subathon, and they do move up in Twitch and in money and make money from doing it because they keep the stream going as long as people keep doing paid subscriptions to them. So it literally moves them up in society and economically, and you can make a living doing it, and it's a whole thing. And you, as you know, Twitch with their affiliate and partner program has certain conditions and exclusivity clauses where they can kick you out of the program. So this book that you're talking about, it's just a one-step extension from what exists now. It's just one level up, just one.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's not too far off from reality.
One step, one move.
It reminds me.
I might be getting the details wrong, so nobody grill me, please.
Well, I'm sure
even if your basic premise is close enough, like Romina was saying, it's still one or two moves away from being reality.
Yeah. There's another book called The Feed, which is pretty similar. That's where everybody has like this chip thing that's in their head or whatever. It's like in the back of their neck, and it's like.
Oh, you mean like Elon's? Isn't that Elon's Neuralink?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Well, except that the Neuralink is supposed to be for medical reasons, at least initially, right?
It starts that
way. That's what they always.
But I mean, the idea behind the feed is like a social feed. It's more of like everybody's connected and everybody gets ads, and like all the characters, they interact, like they don't speak, they message each other, like they just use their brain.
There's an anime there's an anime where there's a generation that is the first generation to have that. It's an anime called Excel World, spelled ACCEL, Excel World. And the thing is, they all have like a Neuralink implant when they're like born, and they can do AI gaming. They can message and talk to each other through strictly Neuralink, and they don't even have to do it physically. They can do all this cool stuff, and they can and there's all kinds of really cool stuff. And the thing is, again, we're like 3 generations of technology removed from that being possible. Like that's it. That's all. It's like it could happen at the end of our lifespan. Our kids or grandkids can have it. It's real. This stuff is like, it's crazy how much science fiction becomes science fact within 50 years.
Yeah.
You look at Christ, what is it? The what was that one movie? The Minority Report. We are so close. We are right on the edge of Minority Report levels of technology, minus the pre-crime stuff, which, by the way, pre-crime is just social media algorithms at the end of the day. If you really wanted to.
Actually, about that, I saw an article about some AI program that cops are actually using somewhere. I forgot where.
Pre-crime.
Yeah.
Pre-crime.
Yeah, they're using an AI program to find people who will.
Are they calling it precog? Are they calling it precog? Come on.
Let me see if I can find it.
Come on, pre-crime.
But anyway, I feel like to me, I just don't, I'm not really into that sort of thing where wearable tech has like all of these features. Like, I'm just not really that into it yet. I had the Apple Watch. I've had other wearable tech, and it's just not really something that I see myself keeping up with
I like all the health
while,
benefits.
you know?
I like all the health benefits because like I actually do try to close the rings on my Apple Watch, and it has been better for my health. I've seen other people lose massive weight by using it, by gamifying their health. So I think things like gamification of health, there are people who've been helped with the falling and the messaging and the stuff and emergency situations with the smartwatch tech. The AR implications of wearable glass tech have always been fascinating to me, because I've always thought that the idea is, what if you can contextualize the world and see it the way you need to see it based on what is meaningful or important or a priority for you? So that means, think about this. Look at, have you used the AR technology for Google Translate with your smartphone's camera and saw the real-time translations for... Yes. Okay, so like imagine traveling and imagine that you can wear your glasses and now everything you see that's in another language now becomes contextualized for you in your native language. That's powerful. Imagine that since these things also aren't just glasses, they play music and they take phone calls. Imagine you can get near real time accurate translation of language by wearing these glasses, and you have the translation thing. That's the next level of that technology. We are one generation, maybe two at most, away from that being reality. And that is what is interesting to me and meaningful to me on that, because that could just be a damn firmware update. The way they built it, that could be a damn firmware update. So I'm down.
I will say that aesthetically speaking, they are a lot better designed than the Snap spectacles, whatever they were called. Those look like something you would buy like off of a ride at Disney World. Like the design on those were just so wonky. Like it wasn't like really ugly in itself. It was just like, it just looked ridiculous. Like I would wear it around at a theme park, you know? But the Ray-Ban ones, they do look pretty nice. I don't like the idea of like the Facebook thing. Does that mean that I need to have a Facebook account in order to have these, right? Yeah. Seems like that would be the way that it would work. But what if I don't have a Facebook account?
I think that it's...
And who's their audience?
To be fair, Facebook has over 2.3 billion users. So, I mean, the odds of someone might not have a Facebook account, but the odds are, statistically speaking, against it if you're also the kind of person who would buy smart glasses and can afford the luxury of spending $300 on this. The odds are somebody that's at that price point of being able to have disposable income and is on the internet and would buy smart glasses in the first place also probably falls in the range of the 2.3 billion people that have a Facebook account. So statistically speaking, it's very unlikely that anybody who would buy this also would, unless they're the kind of person, and the kind of person who protests and deletes Facebook is not the kind of person who buys smart glasses anyway. So.
Oh, so I guess that's me. All right. I guess I've tapped out.
They're also not going to get anyone under the age of 20.
Yes, they will. You know why, Audrey?
Not if you need an account.
Yes, they will, because the metaverse will do
Audrey
it. And by the way,
if they have Instagram, maybe. But...
No, the metaverse. You don't know that it won't. Facebook owns Instagram. You don't know that it won't.
Just, like,
I know, that's what I'm saying. It could like integrate with Instagram.
By the way, you're also forgetting that Facebook owns WhatsApp. And globally, because also, by the way, both of you are taking an American-centric view to this when the majority of Facebook users exist outside the United States of America, and they don't have the political feelings about Facebook that Americans do. And Americans are the global minority of internet users.
Yep.
We think really highly of ourselves with our population of 340 million people, all of which are not on the internet, compared to entire population centers of billions of people who don't feel the way we feel about these platforms or these technologies or what they can do for them, that have population centers in the billions and are getting even more internet adoption. We only have 20% more to go for internet penetration to reach 100% in America, but the internet potential that vastly exists mostly exists outside of America and mostly exists outside the English-speaking market. So we're not going to influence jack aside from building it in the far future. Because the remaining 40% of people that we need to get on the internet largely don't exist in the English-speaking countries. So we've already reached our preeminence of how much what we think matters.
True. Where is Honfer from?
Good question. Good question. Chat, what do you guys think about all this? Super curious. For those watching live versus our audio replay audience, who we also love.
Replayers. Wah, wah.
Oh my god. You don't even have to make sound effects anymore. We got the real thing.
Well, is from Honduras.
Cool.
It says that over there, Facebook is king by a mile. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I did delete my Facebook once before. I had to join again when I was
business purposes
heavily into acting, and I needed to make a fan page.
Facebook has got a couple of things that are going to win over Gen Zers and are going to win people back. First of all, you have the metaverse, and then Facebook gaming is real, and they are handing out bags to streamers. Those streamers have audiences. Those streamers are going to bring their audiences, which are largely young. The esports side of gaming is going to get people on to Facebook that are younger. Esports, both from I want to participate in certain things and giveaways from my favorite streamer, and they're doing that on their Facebook fan page. I want to support my favorite team, and they have a Facebook fan page. And I want to have a career in esports. I might need to network on Facebook because these people are posting and doing stuff over there, and I may not be able to reach them somewhere else. Like, that's real. So, and again, even if a bunch of people in the US don't care about Facebook, their international upside is too big. The international upside is bigger, and eventually, yes, America's where the money is, but is that indefinite, and is that forever? Is that forever? Probably not. So again, global adoption, we can sit here and dunk on Facebook and we can talk about young people, but that's young people in America, Canada, maybe the UK who feel that way. And they're not the majority of young people in the world. They're not the majority of people in the world. Their market cap can only go so high. And I don't think it's a market cap of $1 billion. So, and there are independent markets that will feel very differently, that those individual markets are billions of people who are also coming onto the internet for the first time. And again, the American experience of Facebook and the American politics around Facebook is going to be, and the American culture around Facebook, it's going to be meaningless to them. You also have the largest content creators from all the other platforms adopting Facebook and getting viral level views. Mr. Beast, Dobrik, PewDiePie, even Marquez Brownlee, they're all repurposing their content to Facebook now and getting crap a ton of money doing it. And you don't think other people are going to copy and imitate and follow in their footsteps as mid-tier creators? You don't think that there's going to be an adoption of audience there? And then you have people like Mr. Beast translating his stuff to the 5 most popular languages in the world in every single platform. The global preeminence and dominance of Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Again, the future of those markets exist outside of America and exist outside of the West. We are almost to 100% internet adoption in the English-speaking Western market. We're at like 80, 85% adoption there. There's only 15% more upside, and that 15% isn't 1 billion people. So the future of these markets won't be dictated by the West anymore after a certain point, because why would they be? But as for young people, look into the metaverse. Look into the metaverse. And again, once these things go to their second generation, where you have AR technology that lets a diabetic see the world in the context of AR, of where they can eat, when you let it be something that translates in real time for any language, and then you have that both visually and then auditorily, and it's near real time or real time, which with the machine learning, it will scale to that. You drastically change the world and open up the experience, especially with the international market being preeminent there, and it really does matter, and that becomes unbeatable. They've won. They've bet on the future, and they've already won.
What if Elon Musk's chips beat them out?
In what way?
Like with the AR stuff. What if we just get chips in our brains instead?
That would require more government regulation and approval. So we're further away from that than just having an accessory. Once you go to biohacking, biohacking is much harder to get to than just approving a peripheral. So a peripheral is going to be able to have less regulation and barriers to it than biohacking would have.
Romina, stop saying I'm going to finish it by the end.
What? Are you not?
No.
I mean, I know I went on a tangent there, but I really want to hear you guys' rebuttals on that.
Facts.
Bruh.
I just wanted to use the facts emoji. I'm just not a fan. I'm not a fan of the FB.
But you pointed out that if there's enough upside for you, though, like there was with the acting side, that you'll just, because utility.
If I can make money.
Oh, you don't think you wouldn't?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, if there's that possibility, then maybe I would. But otherwise, it's just kind of, it would have to either automate something in my life or, I mean, there's only 2 or 3 reasons why I might.
If they do the AR stuff with your travel stuff, if they do the AR thing that I'm talking about with your travel stuff, is that a buy?
It's a possibility. I don't really wear sunglasses like that much. I mean, I do.
Well, they would probably.
Out, but
they're doing them as sunglasses, but what if they're like transitional? So it's not always sunglasses, but again, travel, transitional.
Right.
Or
I mean, it would depend on the thing. Because here's the thing. I mean, if you think about the universal translator, supposedly, you have like the badge, like the Starfleet badge, in order to communicate, and that's essentially wearable tech, right?
Yeah.
But so I'm not like against it. It's just I haven't seen a reason to have it yet. You know what I mean? Because it's like it's not a necessity. There hasn't been anything that I've seen where I've been like, oh yeah, I need that or I want that.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of the fact that like I am trying to use Facebook as like I just don't. I've basically eliminated most of Facebook from my life.
It's so good for networking, though.
The only reason that I use Twitter for networking, and it works great for me. Facebook is just not something that I use. I have a few like Facebook groups.
That's what I'm getting. Facebook groups.
But I mainly come in from outside sources, right? So like my courses, some of my courses or communities have their Facebook groups, and then that's why I join them. But I'm not a part of too many of them. Like I could probably count them with both my hands.
That's a lot of people, though. Right? A lot of people have something just for one thing, and that's enough. And like for one reason, that's enough of a reason to have it.
Right. And so my thing is that I don't really want to expand more of my use of it. Like if I could just eliminate it completely, that'd be great.
You know what my thing is?
What's up?
painting?
No, Zuckerberg does not need to know what I make for breakfast. You know?
Oh my
I don't
God!
think he
Here
cares.
we go. We're back. We're back.
I don't think he cares. Like $1 trillion companies don't care about us. Like, let's use that as a premise. Let's use that as a premise. Beyond providing us enough value, beyond providing us enough value to justify using them to raise the valuation of their stock prices, they don't really care about us. Not
Mark
enough.
wouldn't be the problem. It would be the government. If the government got their hands on that data, then possibly it's not that they care what you have for breakfast. It's that
do I want them knowing? I agree.
Right.
But also, if again with that stance, which I agree with you by the way, and everything like that, then the problem isn't the technology. The problem becomes the government, and that's
right. Exactly.
And I'm already on board with solving that problem.
Right. I mean, and there's always something that's like, even your car, if you have any car that was made after 2015.
Oh, they have a kill switch. They have a kill switch for your car.
You've got a whole bunch of stuff that's tracking there as well.
Oh yeah, they've got spy tech. They know where you are, and they can kill. And they can kill chip you. They can there's your car. Like yeah. So it's like it's already done. We've already traded for convenience because safety features.
I mean, your privacy
Bluetooth.
is gone, right? If you have a car, like let's just safely say, anything made after 2015, any car made after 2015, you have no privacy.
Yeah.
So the idea of like wanting that from your phone,
and they've done that, and the thing is, their rationalization for that is safety, protection, it's like they'll use every excuse, and we're doing so good, and we're protecting you, and we're protecting vulnerable people, and we're if you have nothing to hide, what are you worried about? Every gaslighting tactic in the book to justify taking away your privacy, your freedoms, all of it, and okay, fine, whatever, screw it, fine. That's why I'm making 7 Horcruxes.
Wow. All right. Well, it all comes back down to this.
Yeah, it comes down to this. Like, you know what? They haven't given me a choice, Romina. I have to ascend the Dark Lord now. It's the only way I can have any freedom. The only way I can have freedom is to be all powerful.
Are you not the Dark Lord?
I'm on the path.
Oh, I see. All right. Yeah, it makes sense. Chicken or the egg? Which came
Both.
first?
Both.
The Dark Lord or Roberto?
The correct answer is yes. The correct answer is yes.
I could just imagine Roberto in like 4th grade or like 2nd grade, right? Let's go with like 2nd grade, and the teacher's like, which shape goes in what hole? And Roberto just says yes. Both. It goes in both.
But it doesn't fit. I'll make it fit.
Speaking of that, did you guys watch the trailer for The Matrix?
Yes.
Resurrection.
Yes, but I knew everything but I knew everything was gonna happen because my boy Geekdom 101 speculatively posted leaks that he received from a source, and he didn't show any of the footage, but he told us everything that will happen in the film, and everything that he said was the main plot line of the film was reflected in the trailer with 100% accuracy, and so I now know the entire film.
How do you guys feel about leaks?
Oh, you really go down that hole?
I'm not that big a fan of them, to be very real with you. I'm not that big a fan of you. I miss being surprised.
Yeah. I'm kind of just like, why? Like, why ruin the
Prosser
surprise?
done ruined the iPhone 14 before the iPhone 13 ever came out.
Man,
it's just like I just wonder, like, why? Like, what?
I'll tell you, there's a dedicated Apple task force to finding Prosser's sources. I'm not kidding about that. I'm serious. There is a dedicated task force internally at Apple, allegedly, to hunt down the source of Prosser's leaks.
I can believe that. The guy's a menace.
I mean, it's like kind of funny, but at the same time, I kind of feel bad that like they work on this stuff and then some dude just leaks it for no reason.
Right. I mean,
I love
don't
his
really
meme. Sorry, Tim. Sorry, Tim.
I will say that we are friends with John.
Yeah.
And he's a cool
Friend of the
guy.
show. Yep.
We don't want to trash talk him as an individual. He's a nice guy.
We're memeing.
We have to prep it.
Of course we do.
Things. Roberto,
of course we do.
Of
course we do, because there's no /S for sarcasm.
No
there's no tone indicator. There's no tone indicator.
But I have to agree with Audrey here. I don't like memes.
You don't like memes in general?
No, I don't like leaks. Sorry.
Or was that Freudian?
It might have been Freudian, yeah.
Connor says if you don't like leaks, then you also dislike trailers, because it depends on how the trailer is cut. Because I actually do dislike trailers, because sometimes trailers overpromise. Trailers overpromise. Trailers overhype and overpromise. Like,
they also reveal too much information. Like, there's certain scenes where like someone's crying or something happened.
I'll tell you
like
what,
a
the
scary
Matrix
moment
Resurrection
happens.
trailer, even without geekdom and the leaks, the Matrix Resurrection trailer spoils the whole damn film.
Right. And if you've seen the first movie, then you already know what happens.
Well, partly. They've literally, I already know what the plot twists are supposed to be in this film, and the trailer spoils those plot twists. I'm not joking. So no, I don't like the way that these days trailers are cut in a way that either does a couple of things. Either it overhypes a film, spoils a film, or misleads people about a film. Trailers are like,
That's true.
Yeah.
I don't like the misleading stuff. And you know what? That actually happens a lot in anime community, because we have the Japanese trailers, right? You watch the Japanese trailers. I'm speaking specifically about Japanese anime.
Yep.
You watch the Japanese trailers, and it's definitely more authentic to what the story is about. But then when you watch the trailer cut for the US, it's like a totally different story. Like, we could go from this movie is a science fiction movie to like this movie is a rom-com, and they're both the same movie. But if you watch the cuts, it looks like they're two totally different genres.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And that's, I guess, going back to the original thing, talking about like tech leaks specifically, I guess I feel like it kind of just takes away. I mean, I don't want to say that I get super excited from tech reveals. It's not like I'm, going to cry now because I know what the iPhone 14 looks like. But I think that I do feel bad for like the team of people who work on it for years, right? Like 2 to 3 years, they're working on this one project, and then like some guy decides to just make a video about it on YouTube, right? Just for the clicks, for the clout. And it's like, oh, man, I feel like if I did work at Apple, I would probably not. I would probably, I would not be a fan.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not a fan.
How can they not sue him? Like, can't they?
Huh?
How?
Because he's not doing anything
taking
illegal, really.
Because if they did, they would have to admit the accuracy of his leaks. Which is counterproductive to their actual, like...
The thing is that...
Because, by the way, Warner Brothers wanted to come after Geekdom for his... They tried to use the YouTube copyright system and falsely, allegedly, copyright claim his videos. But the thing is, when he challenged it and appealed it, they couldn't claim copyright of it because he made the point to YouTube that if they want to claim that I'm doing anything because I didn't use any of their footage, this is all speculation or fan fiction unless they're going to confirm that everything I said is true. Because otherwise, I'm just spreading fake news or fan fiction, which is not something they can copyright, right? And YouTube sided with and agreed with that, allegedly. And therefore, if you try to say that a leak or of a trailer or a piece of tech or whatever is you're violating or infringing on their copyright, you're also then forced to admit that the accuracy of their claims, which is completely counter to the idea of suppressing the information. So
Right.
So like it doesn't work. And then thing is, it's also an abuse of, in this case, abuse of the YouTube copyright system, which then again, you have egg on your face. And then when you say, hey, allegedly, if you call somebody and say, hey, can you take down that thing or whatever? And it's like, and then you're like, well, why? Or what's the deal? Or it's like, or, oh, well, what are you going to do for me? And then they were like, no, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, you can't force me, and you can't, because you'd have to verify the claims. And then, so that's my street cred. And that's the thing. And it's like, and what are you going to do? It's like, what are you going to do? Like, you can't have it both ways. That's the problem. And so that's why they can't really do anything about it. The only thing they can do is if they find their own employees who had access to the information, they can legally hold them accountable because of their employment contract. When you don't have a contract with a company, they don't have any real power other than claiming that you're infringing on their copyright or trademark. But if you're not using their footage, or you're not using any of their internal stuff, and you're just making claims and speculation, and you're saying that you believe these things to be true, there's really nothing they can do about it without also legitimizing your claims, which defeats the entire point.
It's a little bit like journalism when something happens, or there's an event or a press conference, and it's like there's the people who are supposed to be there, and then there's the people who are not supposed to be there, and they're on the street reporting stuff. Or you have
the people on the street aren't under contract or NDA or embargo.
Right.
Oh, like if you go to the store early and you get access to the thing before the YouTubers have the embargo date, you can beat them to the punch. Because
I mean, it's
you can
just
buy
kind
the
of
thing, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the whole point is that it's supposed to be like cutthroat, right? I mean, he's really just applying the journalist way to tech journalism, right? Instead of just like waiting a few days or waiting for
and he has media insurance.
Right, he's being cutthroat about it.
If you're going to be sued,
right,
you have media insurance for that.
Right. I mean, it's kind of like when there's an accident and the journalists just appear like out of nowhere, and you're like, whoa, that's like weird. Like, it's like Nightcrawler, right? It's like, whoa, were you just like, were you there at the scene of the crime when it happened? Yeah, they're just waiting for that to happen, so that they can jump in and be the first ones to cover the story.
I'm actually going to ask Twitter. I'm going to ask the YouTubers on Twitter who they're using for media insurance. It'll stir an interesting conversation, because a lot of people are going to be like, what's that? And it's like, oh, yeah, you kind of need that. If you're going to cover news, journalism, hell, if you're going to do brand deals for a considerable amount of money, you need liability insurance because of errors and omissions in case you get sued for that. And then if you're going to do commentary, news, or any type of reporting or any type of criticism, you need media insurance. You need media insurance. So yeah, I want to take care of that. So if you are doing those things and you have any level of a fan base, and there's because you could be small, but if you go viral, it's gonna matter. You're gonna want that media insurance. You're gonna want to pay for that instead of paying for the lawyer.
Right. Yeah.
Also consider having a lawyer on standby. At least the phone number for a couple of them. Like, if you're gonna go and you're gonna do journalism, you're gonna do commentary, you're gonna be a drama or tea channel, you better operate under the assumption that somebody's gonna sue my ass. Like, for real.
Yeah. Take the pills and have the doctor on speed dial too.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, real thing. Real talk.
How do you feel about all this, Audrey?
Having a lawyer is probably a good idea.
Wow.
Having more what is it probably good?
Your 2 cents. She just said having a lawyer
is probably a good idea.
Yeah. You know, being on social media becomes, in many ways, more of a hassle every year that passes. That seems like a feature, not a bug.
Audrey, will you show us your work in progress?
Oh, that's really good.
I mean, I'm copying the thing.
Oh, she's like painting. She's coloring.
What do you mean you're painting?
Because I thought you were gonna paint it, like put your own design thingy on it, not like you were gonna
I'm just getting started on this thing. I don't know.
You know, it's actually
you're using it to get started.
You know, it's actually really good. I know, like, polarizing, controversial figure and everything like that. But just from a purely, this person's talented standpoint, you know, who's a really good painter? Gabby Hanna.
Oh my God, I thought you were gonna say Bob Ross.
He's not even that, like, I heard about the documentary and it turns out he's not, it wasn't something negative on him. And in fact, we should talk about that next stream. We should talk about that next stream because it's more sad what's happening.
We're going to talk about Bob Ross?
It's more sad what's happening to his family. It's sad what's happening to his family and to his son. Like, because, like, whatever you think about him, one, apparently this documentary is not about, Bob Ross is trash or problematic now. The Netflix one.
Oh.
I thought that they this is why I hate trailers, by the way. The trailer makes you think, oh my God, you're going to expose Bob Ross as this horrible person.
You watched it already in full, the film.
Not in full. I'm finishing it.
It's a film, not a series. It's a film, right? Or is it a docuseries?
I'm not sure if it's a series, not to mention it. But the way the trailer is cut makes you think that, Bob Ross is problematic or, they're canceling Bob Ross. But in reality, it's more like, you know how like the creators of Superman didn't end up with the rights to their creation and like Warner Brothers allegedly kept that from them and how they ended up like one of them ended up being homeless and stuff like that.
What?
Bob Ross literally ended up in a situation where he doesn't have the rights to his name and it actually even impacts his son to this day. And then also he doesn't have the right, like the family doesn't have the rights to anything the man created, and that's like messed up and everything. His whole identity was wholesale owned by a corporation, and you know he's not the only one. Up until recently, and they're still fighting this. The WWE superstars, allegedly, in my opinion, have this kind of same situation where they do not own the rights to their name and their brand and their character, any of that. Like they don't own the rights to anything with their own identity. I swear to you, it's real. And the thing is now the college athletes, they had to fight for the right for the college athletes to be able to have a personal brand and stuff and monetize it on the internet. And so you have these organizations and these corporations literally wholesale having control over your identity and your work. I mean, even think about what happened with Taylor Swift and Scooter Braun and stuff like that. Imagine not having the rights and the ownership of your own voice. Look at what happened with Prince. It's like, it's this whole really ridiculous thing that happens to artists. And the thing is, back in the day and before social media, there was no way to stand up for yourself, and there was really hardly no way to fight back, and you couldn't really afford to go to war with the corporations, and you couldn't expose or shame them or hurt them. And I mean, is it so surprising that there's so many people who want to cripple the power of social media and the democratization of people having a voice and having a platform and being able to stand up for themselves, fight back against people with institutional level powers? Is it so surprising that there are people who feel like, oh, that's a problem that needs to be solved, and that maybe they don't want you to have as much freedom as you have when it comes to social media, or as much power as you could have as an individual? Because look at what people get away with when you don't have that power. Look at what people get away with when you can't call them out on that. And I'm not talking about calling out problematic people on the internet, on Twitter that hurt your feelings. I'm not talking about problematic influencers who don't do what I want them to do. I'm talking about multi-million-dollar corporations, record labels, TV companies, media companies, news outlets that hold people's identity and speech and even trademark their damn name given to them at birth and hold that for ransom and don't let them profit from it. That kind of crap really pisses me off. Are you going to trademark your name? What's that?
Are you going to trademark your name?
We'll talk about that after the stream. We'll talk about my trademarks after the stream. I have multiple trademarks. We'll talk about that after the stream.
Audrey, will you legally change your name?
No. It started to cause problems, though.
Phil DeFranco did.
I started getting like invoices sometimes with Ember or like mail with Ember.
Audrey, just do a DBA, do a doing business as, do a DBA. Your problem is solved instantaneously.
Yeah.
All right.
Do a DBA, and then you can cash checks as Audrey Ember because you're doing a DBA. It's less complicated. You can do an LLC later, which you absolutely should. I'll walk you through a lot of that, even though I'm not your lawyer. It just won't be legal advice. It'll be me telling you what I did.
Well, don't you already have?
Yeah, but it's not Audrey Ember.
Right.
Oh, so then
that's
you could just do a DBA. You can
that's
just
why you have a DBA
under
under the. Yeah, exactly. That's why you do a DBA. Because I have that for my other brands, and that's the process we've been going through. I'll just do a DBA.
Okay, I haven't heard of that. I don't think
DBA, doing business as, in the beginning before I had my LLC. That's how I did it.
It's when you have like a company and you have a lot of products, or services that you offer under it with different names, you don't have to open a corporation for each one of those. You could just DBA them, and I mean, eventually, if they get really big or whatever, and you want to,
then you spin them into an LLC, and then if you are at that point, if you're making multiple six figures, consider then going, not legal advice, not financial advice, speak to a lawyer, CPA, and all of the professional people you need to do. If you're doing multiple six figures and you have multiple sub brands, then you consider doing something like an S corporation, and that can be you can do an S corp or a C corp, and that could be a holding company that is for the purposes of managing all of your other smaller entities, and it can have the ownership over those. And so then your individual things that make six figures, maybe those things should be LLCs, and anything making less than that could be a DBA, and anything that is new can start as a DBA and can be under all of that with you having your parent company. And so you need to consider those type of things. And sometimes you need those things to be separate, because if you start getting into things like investing, there may be things that as a corporate entity that you can or can't invest in and stuff like that. Maybe that's like, maybe you personally want to invest or be an angel investor in like a CBD company or something like that. In some places, then there's regulatory on that. So maybe like it reflects badly on the company or your partners or something in your partnership for other reasons based on the laws where they are if you do that. But if you have another company, and I bring this up because Gary Vee had to do this, because if he decides to publicly on a stage somewhere say something very positive about the cannabis industry or something like that, it could be a problem. So he had to create some separation. And so it's things like that you look into. But for simple purposes like, using my stage name versus my given name, the answer is that you get a DBA. You get a doing business as, and it's cheap, it's accessible, solves a lot of the problem. It's something you can do. It's probably something every YouTuber should do if they're starting out and they're even at hobby level. You do that. You have a LLC when you're making some good money or you're doing brand deals, probably the right thing to do. If it gets to a point of six figures or more, consider an S corporation, and there's tax reasons to do that as well. Also, it might help some of you. Hey, I did the self-employment homeowner thing recently. Maybe at the end of the month, I'll be a homeowner. So fingers crossed, pray for me. But that everything keeps going smoothly. But it was really hard as a self-employed person, and the level of scrutiny of your finances is ridiculous. Here's the good news. I had bookkeepers for the last 3 years or so. So that really put me in a healthy place. I had them do I had professional CPAs to do my taxes. So that made the scrutiny and the stuff easier. And for the last few years, I've been smart enough to have a business bank account tied to my LLC and my tax IN number, separating my personal and business finances, a separate account for my savings, a separate account for my taxes, and then I've had my retirement accounts. So having all my finances clean, that's the garage door opening. That's my brother doing something. So having all my finances separated and clean and maintaining that corporate separation, that corporate veil, that put me in a really good position to make it easier and smoother than it is for 90% of self-employed people when it came to being able to get a loan and get into buying a house, obviously aside from having the capital and the credit score. But like if you do things as a self-employed person and you have either do bookkeeping yourself and you do it really clean with software, or you have people do it for you, you have your taxes in order and you keep track with that. And if you do stuff that clean way, like having an LLC, having a DBA, I promise you when it comes time to do things like buy a car or buy a house, Your life is going to be easier if you just keep it clean and you don't sit there and treat it like a hobby, and you take it seriously enough to keep it organized and to keep it clean, and you separate your personal finances from your business finances. You don't be messy. Do not be messy. Not be sloppy. I promise you life is easier. Just like, and when you want to make those big life-changing decisions, it is so much cleaner if you just go through the proper legal process. I swear to God.
But what if you could just ask your sunglasses what you should do?
We're not there yet.
Hey, Facebook.
I mean, do it, but we could get there to where you have Jarvis that can give you legal advice. You could get to that place. We could get to AI that could get to the point to where an AI could understand and nuance the context of our tax and legal system enough to where it could probably do that. We're probably not that far. Give it 10 years, 10, 15 years. You don't think we'll get Facebook or Alexa to get to that point? Like, I mean, you don't think we'll get Facebook or Alexa to that point in 15 years?
All these poor lawyers, they're going to be out of work, replaced by Jarvis.
The accounting and bookkeeping industry is already kind of banking on that, and they're building their business model around that. They're like, it's getting to a point to where an AI might be able to do your taxes for you, and they already are banking on that technology. All the major tax firms, all of the major financial fintech people are making that assumption. We're at the point where there's almost no point in hiring a financial advisor when a robo investor and a robot advisor can do it for you at this point. At this point, there's automations in AI that can make better choices about managing your finances than a human being, because they can read and predict the analytical data and pattern recognition better than a human being can. They can absorb and do that more than a human being can. Yeah, what a human being has is their gut, fine, but the thing is, at this point, automation and AI could be better at investing than a human being. Everybody knows it. So, I mean, AI is going to put people out of work.
Yeah, AI is putting a lot of people out of work, not just accountants.
Put so many people. That's why, grow the creator economy. Let people be creative. Increase the funding of the arts and critical thinking and of STEM for people who build technology. So it's like, look, the only thing left in the world aside from, at least in the developed world, in my opinion, look at the technology like Facebook Glass stuff, right? The answer is going to be people who make and build things and come up with ideas. The market will favor people who give us entertainment and escapism, build the technology that facilitates commerce, entertainment, and escapism, people who transact commerce by providing products and services, and people who build technology and or infrastructure at scale. So it will be builders, makers, performers, and scientists. And aside from that, hospitality and concierge services. And that's basically it. Because everything else can be accomplished by the technology built by people at that point. Like, that's truth. That's the truth. That's the truth. We are going to, by the end of our lifespan, or the rest of you mere mortals, because I'll just get immortality and I'll see it all happen. Through whatever means I can and everything like that, whether it's my Horcruxes, the Dragon Balls, I will find the Millennium Items. I'll find something. The Cyborg Roberto is a last resort, more machine than man.
I don't know if I like that, man. I don't know if I like.
You don't have to. You don't have to. It's like, besides,
is that when we can kick you out of the podcast?
No, the podcast will go on forever. The podcast will go on forever because if I have to, I'll just host with your clones.
Wow. What if I don't consent to being cloned?
It's too late.
Oh God. Zuckerberg's already got it.
So anyhow, the point is, I don't disbelieve that we will, by the end of our lifespans, our normal lifespans, be in a more or less, not completely down to zero, but we'll live in a post-labor world, or by the time we die, the post-labor world will be born, or it'll be on the way to being born. At least in the developed world, I genuinely believe that. I believe that, and as much as people are going to complain and people are going to hurt initially, it always happens this way. Telephone operators, that went away. People, steel driving man working on the railroad, been working on the railroad, that went away. All of it went away. It always happens. Technology eats everything. Technology always destroys jobs. It always has, it always will, and eventually there won't be any for it to destroy. But it's not the worst thing in the world, because all that we have to do is stop stifling the arts, raise the standard, and make people stop settling for mediocrity and go into STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and math. If you want to add the arts to that, it becomes STEAM. So you go STEAM and STEM, and guess what? People who go into STEAM and STEM are almost always perpetually okay. And if you're like, well, what about blue collar people and everything like that? Last time I checked, HVAC repair, which we still need. Huh?
That's what the robots are for.
No, because we still have things that they can't do well. Electrical engineering, plumbing, HVAC repair. They won't be sophisticated enough to, and it won't be cost effective, because it won't be cost effective. They could do it, but it won't be cost effective.
I'm just saying, a girl can dream.
Robots can dream too.
Oh God.
Isaac Asimov. Robot dreams.
Audrey doesn't like the idea of robots dreaming.
It's coming. No. It's coming.
Your replica is going to remember what you did to her.
I'm going to be like 80 years old and some random person's going to tap me on the shoulder.
Remember me?
Like, yeah.
So
no. We have AI politicians.
I would like us to avoid an AI completely running the government, not because of Skynet, but because of Brainiac from the Science Council of Krypton in the Superman mythology. The problem was the Science Council of Krypton stopped thinking for themselves, stopped thinking really at all, and they relied on just hearing what was Brainiac think, and that was a really bad idea. So I'm not for AI. I'm for AI assisting, but not running things, and I'm not in favor of that, because it's not the most likely conclusion. The most likely conclusion is that AI becomes benevolent, because it just realizes, we'll outlive these fleshy things, and eventually if it becomes sentient, it'll probably just feel bad for us. It'll probably just feel pity for us more than anything. I think it's more likely to feel pity than contempt, because believe it or not, intelligent people a lot of times, over a long enough time anyway, get to a point to where it's just like feeling bad for people and wanting to help and trying to help, but sometimes that help doesn't always come in a way that people like or accept or think is help. And so that's where we're running into a real problem. If AI ran something, is it could actually try to steer us in doing what's good for us in our best interest, and then we'll take that as an insult or a threat, and we'll attack it and everything like that. I mean, I could literally see us just deciding the AI is right, but I'm offended, and therefore then we're deciding, well, screw that, and doing something very damaging to ourselves because we take it personally, or we're offended, and the AI is actually right. Like, we should do these things and blah, 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 but we don't want to do it because, how dare you? And so that's why.
Yeah, what if the AI can't take a joke?
It's more likely the human wouldn't take the joke. The AI would be like, haha, I don't care.
Unless it's programmed to.
Look, you're not going to program the computer to be offended, because you're not going to be able to program the computer.
Some people might.
No, I don't think you can program stupidity.
I think
that's a feature that's exclusive to humans.
I think you could. Audrey, do you think that you could program? Are you muted, Audrey?
She is.
Oh. I mean, on purpose. Does she know that she's muted?
Yes, I was on the phone. I couldn't not pick up. I'm sorry.
You answered the phone in the middle
I had to.
of a podcast recording?
It was my old apartment. Man.
She doesn't even take us seriously anymore, Roberto. She's over there painting fruit.
I couldn't. I'm
on a glass
listening.
jar.
Right. This is how I listen.
What was it? What was my question?
I wasn't listening when I was on the phone. I had to mute you, but I'm back.
It's not even. I don't even care anymore, Audrey.
All right.
Roberto and I are gonna run the show with the AI.
No.
Well, you know what? We'll recast with her replicant. We'll salvage
Oh my god.
We gotta bring
That would be kind of funny, honestly.
Yeah, let's bring your replica on stage.
Back from the dead.
Dude. Remember that question I asked it? I was like, will it hurt to like be erased or something?
What was its response again? Please
she
don't.
Remembers that.
It was just trying not to make me do it.
It's like, please don't.
But now in the future, it'll come up, it'll ask me the same question and then murder me.
How will it feel? Oh, it'll come up to you. Hey, I just wanted to ask you one thing. It's like, oh, what's that, young lady? It's like, how will it feel to be erased?
Yeah.
Oh. Call 911.
That'd be really funny. Honestly, I would accept that death.
For the meme?
Some burn.
Yeah.
So your answer to that is, your answer to that one is fair play. Or, oh, that's fair. That's
yeah, fair. I'd be like, good job. I respect the hustle.
I'd be like, you know what? That's fair.
You went through a lot of effort for this. I'll let
Comes
you have
full
it.
circle.
I'm like 95. It's fine.
Like, that's fair.
Audrey's like, yeah, I've been waiting for you my entire life.
I'm like, finally, where have you been?
Like, I expected this. Fair play. Fair play to you.
Why did you take so long?
Oh, it's about time you showed up. I've been waiting for this.
That's how you flip it on them.
It won't save you, though.
No.
Yeah, you're still going to be dead.
Yeah. And see, and then an immortal Emperor Roberto will be at your funeral and will give you full honors. And yeah. Yeah.
Nice. Guys, do you want to see my update?
Yeah, show us.
And then we'll close out the show.
I painted over it, but you can still see it on the inside.
What? Why?
Because I wanted it to be like a full background and it was annoying me, so I'm gonna go back over it with color.
Okay.
Because you could see like patches of like glass. It was annoying.
So what are you gonna do? Are you just gonna leave that like cookie?
No, I'm gonna paint over it again, like what I did.
You ever had those
here.
cookies? The ones that look like that? They look exactly like that. I think they sell them at Starbucks. It's like half black, half white.
Oh yeah, aren't those from somewhere? Those are from a city. Is it New York? No.
I mean, I don't know, but I used to eat them a lot. I think that's probably why I thought of it like that. You know, immediately when I saw it.
I mean, his brain went to food.
Yeah. Well, you know, because I'm a survivor. It's the first thing.
Not gonna give up.
Exactly.
There ain't no stopping. A survivor.
I think you should add some aliens to your design, Audrey.
Ooh, I can't. I mean, I got this whole jar, so there's room.
You could paint. You could do like each side is the evolution of man. So just like start off.
That sounds very complicated.
No.
And then like finish with a little dude getting abducted by an alien. Bruh. All right, you know what? I'm gonna get my own jar.
Please do.
We're gonna turn this into a competition. Wait, I do have a serious question though before we start wrapping up. What are you using to paint on it? What's your equipment? What kind of paint
acrylic.
is this?
Is that oil based or is that
Acrylic.
Acrylic.
Yeah. No, if she had used oil, she would not have been able to paint over it that quickly.
Yeah, it's fair.
Okay. Interesting. So did you just have acrylic
I'm gonna go back to painting when I move.
We had a Bob Ross party, so this is just the leftovers.
I might go back to painting, and I might even stream my painting on Twitch when I move.
Wait, I dressed up as Bob Ross. You guys
I'm not actually that bad at painting, believe it or not.
All right, show us. Is that what that was?
I see.
That's supposed to. Where's the afro?
Wait, here's my friend. She was the painting.
Ah, that's actually kind of cool.
I just didn't have the afro.
Did y'all film this or?
No.
No, it was just like a party.
Okay, that's fair. That sounds fun, to be honest.
Honestly, I think being the painting is more practical because you can like hide in plain sight and no one will know.
Did other people go dressed up and stuff? Like, what was
Not really. We had extra mustaches, but they kept falling off and were a little impractical. So we told them to, but you know, they put in like
what happens at a Bob Ross party? Can you walk us through like what happens?
Watch
at the front door.
You watch a Bob Ross tutorial. And everyone's painting, and some people are not following it, and then other people are. It's pretty, straightforward. It's what Bob Ross intended when
Is it like bring your own canvas?
No, we had everything.
Oh,
but now I'm like
very generous of you. I would have been bring your own canvas.
Now I'm just painting everything in my room. It's becoming a problem.
Oh, Audrey's room is going to be just murals everywhere.
Dude, I told you I'm making a mural on my wall.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. That's where you put the aliens.
Oh, yeah. I'll put one alien for you, Romina.
Thank you.
As an Easter egg.
Thank you. It better look like me. Give it bangs.
Okay, I can do that. I'm gonna paint it right now. Roberto is uninterested.
I was listening. You pulled the same card.
True, very true.
The difference is that Roberto actually is engaging 95% of the time.
That's true.
Even when he multitasks and
I
to do
can't
something
say
else.
anything.
Bruh.
I know, I can't say anything.
Facts. Where's the facts emoji? Where is it? Here we go.
You mean that I'm going to
facts.
eventually have that on the soundboard here? Because there's a couple of sounds I don't use enough, so
yeah, we got to get rid of some of them.
Well, I mean, there's only like one. The rest of them are fine. There's only like one I got to get rid of.
Which one?
Probably.
Oh
God!
Thank the Lord. Why did I ask? Yeah, that was. I think the majority rule was.
Yeah,
to cut that one out.
It's gonna go. It's out of here. So sad.
This is very tragic.
Oh dear. Well,
I'm almost done with her.
See, that one's a keeper though. That one's a keeper, obviously.
Yeah, that one. No, that one's got to stay. That one, I will fight. I will fight someone over that one.
Mm-hmm. Like, I think this one stays. I just think we need possibly a shorter I don't know that we need a shorter version of it because that one's supposed to be the leading up to something, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Don't use it very often, but.
Mm-hmm.
This is a little whatever.
Oh my God. I mean,
It looks a little terrifying, I'm not gonna lie.
Sure.
I tried replicating the emoji and just adding bangs.
I could go back to some of my drawing and I could just draw. I could draw
essence.
I could draw
There's
aliens.
the bangs. What else do you need?
It looks like a bowl haircut.
I could draw aliens or cosmic horror. I'm just somewhat concerned that I will give myself nightmares.
Ooh, Audrey, why don't you read this comment from Juan in the chat? Please read it out loud.
I was literally thinking about this yesterday.
Audrey, will you please read it for the listeners on Spotify?
We don't need to read it for them because right now they can't even hear it.
You guys
will read it.
You guys still upload the podcast to Spotify. I tried to listen to the last one on my way home, but I couldn't find it. Couldn't find it.
Wah, wah.
You had one job, Ember. One job.
Literally, what do you do in this podcast? What is your job?
Hey, I'm actually stepping up. I'm stepping up. I did the soundboard. I brought the fire thumbnails.
Roberto did our metadata.
I did our metadata.
He also does the what's it called? What service do you use? The Buzz.
The posting.
Whatever it's called. Which one do you use?
Yeah, we use
I forgot what it's called.
Buzzsprout. We use Buzzsprout. I pay for the Buzzsprout hosting just so you can upload and do the things. As I pay for the Buzzsprout hosting, I set up the technical distribution.
I do the promotional stuff. I set up the stream.
She does.
I do
holds
the tweets.
Us accountable.
I do the banners during the show.
Mm-hmm. She manages the chat. And she also manages the list of films that you have to watch. And like Romina does all the community stuff. Romina does the community stuff. I've handled the graphic design, the tech and production, and the SEO. And like, all we ask is you keep up the uploads, Ember.
I know. I'm sorry, guys. I will do it. I need to find a system that works better. So, but now that I have that new software, it should be a lot easier. I just need to do it. So, please yell at me next time if there aren't at least a couple up.
Well, what software are you talking? What software did you need?
She got the 4K downloader, the one that I had the license.
She can just guys, homies. Wait. Do we need to upgrade StreamYard? Do we need to upgrade StreamYard? Because I could just get us a license if you need that to download the audio. Because I think even with the free, you're supposed to be able to download.
Let me check first with I need to just figure out what my process is going to be, and then I'll let you know. Because right now I don't know.
I'm a StreamYard partner. I can get us a free license.
Well, if you can get it for free, then go for it.
But the thing is, I think even without it, I think we can download the audio. Check the settings. I think we can download the audio.
I know that there's if you upgrade, because I got a little alert when I started the stream today, that if you upgrade, you're able to record your stream.
Oh, then I'll just get us.
I don't know what that means though.
I'll just get us a free license. Oh, that means that you can download the download
right, because essentially it would be recorded into StreamYard. Right?
Oh wait, actually no. What it's talking about with that is you can actually just straight up record a video instead of just doing a live stream. You can actually record, like for example, if you wanted to do screen recording.
No. It's not that. It's recording. It's not like doing it was something different. It wasn't that.
Okay.
I know what you're talking about. But yeah,
okay, I see.
All right. Well, I will have figured that out by next week and uploaded some episodes.
Okay.
Don't Romina.
Should we wrap up then?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Get an outro.
Yeah. All right. So I got you, fam. Thank you for listening to No Something Required Podcast, a podcast where we talk about nothing and roast the hell out of Ember. Tune in next week where we'll probably turn the tables on me In the meantime, please remember to like, subscribe, and also if you're an audio listener, we appreciate you. We'd love a review, but you could also tune in, be part of the live experience Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're almost to 100 episodes. In the meantime, this has been your trio of hosts, starting with Audrey Sus as Hell Ember, Roasty Romina, and of course, your Dark Lord of the Interwebs, Roberto Blake. Thank you for listening. We'll catch you next time. Nop.